Operation Epic Fury. Breaking right now, this Tuesday, April 15th, a Chinese spy satellite has been watching every single American military base across the Middle East. Iran had eyes in the sky, and those eyes were made in Beijing. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, the UAE, our troops monitored from space by our enemies. But here's where it gets incredible. President Trump just flipped the entire script. China is now backing down. NATO is getting called out, and fair weather allies are being put on notice. Did Trump just expose and dismantle an axis of surveillance in 1 week? Let's break this all down, because think about what this means for you and your family. American servicemen and women stationed across our Middle East, our sons, our daughters, husbands, wives, being tracked from space by Iranian military using Chinese technology. Every base, every movement, every position. The Financial Times obtained leaked Iranian military documents proving this was not speculation. It was battlefield intelligence, potentially fed directly from Beijing. Missile strikes, drone attacks, targeted infrastructure, all of it possibly guided by a communist satellite. This is not just a regional conflict anymore. This is a coordinated surveillance effort between global powers hostile to American interests. While the previous administration let China expand its influence unchecked, while they sent pallets of cash to Iran, our enemies were literally watching us from orbit. The questions Americans should be asking is, who let this happen? And more importantly, what is President Trump doing about it right now? Speaking of protecting American interests, there is breaking news on the economic front that ties directly into this story. The White House just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains. They named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. Now, I've been to the Vizsla copper drilling site myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. What's happening right now in Alaska is bigger than most people actually realize. You see, President Trump just unveiled Project Vault. It's a $12 billion strategic minerals reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America from depending on hostile nations like China for critical minerals. This is exactly the kind of forward thinking that separates real leadership from empty promises. Now, Vizsla Copper, they trade in the United States under VCUFF and in Canada as VCU.V. Check the exclusive briefing. It's only for Next News viewers in the description below. And we thank Vizsla Copper for supporting our program. Now back to the incredible developments with China and Iran, because what happened next is absolutely stunning. Oh yes, this is what President Trump, his deal-making genius comes into full view. After the Chinese surveillance operation was exposed, Trump didn't just condemn it, he acted. President Xi Jinping personally wrote Trump a letter, and according to the president himself, Xi is essentially committing to stop arming Iran. Think about that. No bombs were dropped, no sanctions war, a personal letter between two leaders, and suddenly China's backing off. But that's not all. Trump is now calling out every single ally who refused to help America during the Iran situation. And the names he's dropping, it's going to shock you. China's eyes in the skies exposed. Jim Ferguson, UK. Another one of my favorite follows on X. Iran acquired a Chinese spy satellite to monitor U.S. military bases across the Middle East, according to the Financial Times. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, every major U.S. position in the region watched from space. Was it battlefield intelligence fed directly from Beijing? Because if confirmed, it's not just a regional war anymore.
We continue with our rolling coverage on the West Asia crisis. News just coming in at the top of breaking ground. According to a report by Financial Times, Iran secretly acquired a Chinese spy satellite that gave it a new ability to monitor USA military bases across the Middle East during the recent war. This is being reported by the Financial Times, citing leaked Iranian military documents. The locations monitored were in Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, and the UAE, and included U.S. military bases as well as some infrastructure, according to that report. Aditya Rajkol joining me live. Aditya, what details can you share with us based on the Financial Times report? Of course, this is expected. There has been tacit support that we've seen in the past as well.
That's right, Vedika. It's a very serious development coming in the midst of the war, even though there's a ceasefire underway. But this will really be very critical to what the US intelligence tries to acquire from Iran. Now, reports are suggesting to Financial Times that Iran has acquired a Chinese, spy satellite. This is in fact known as TE-01B and has monitored the war very, very closely. But very critically, they have kept a watch on the US bases all across the region. Now, you'd remember, Vedika, over the last 45 days, there have been several attacks, missiles and drones that have been used against US bases, US embassies and US consulates all across the Middle East. Now, as you rightly pointed out, the countries that were targeted by the Chinese spy satellite with the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Aerospace Force, were Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Djibouti, Oman and United Arab Emirates, the UAE. So clearly they used to keep a very close watch strategically on these US bases that were targeted, and then perhaps missiles and drones were launched against it. In many cases, there were US refuelers, US fighter jets, and several radars also that were targeted. And the US critically and of course strategically suffered a major damage in many of these US bases as well. We'll have to wait and watch how US reacts to it, but this is the reality of the war. You'd remember during Operation Sindoor as well, there were reports that emerged that China was helping Pakistani deep state with Indian air bases and Indian activity.
Financial Times breaking the news as the Chinese spy satellite revelations unfold. Trump claims China has now pledged to not arm Iran. This is the post the president made earlier today. China is very happy. I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I'm doing it for them also and the world. The situation will never happen again. They've agreed not to send weapons to Iran. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks. We're working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? But remember, we are very good at fighting, if we have to, far better than anyone else. President Donald J. Trump. Remember, folks, we're really good at fighting. We're the best. Sometimes. We're the best at fighting, folks. China knows it. No one can beat our fighting. With China's supposed cooperation, Trump turns his sights on NATO, blasting them for their lack of support during the Iran conflict. President Trump with Maria Bartiromo this morning, unloading on NATO with zero filter.
The country and for the world, we've had no help, zero from NATO. We're there for them. They're not there for us. We spend, you saw the chart that came out a couple of days ago with a big monster red ball. That was us. And all these little satellite balls. And it represented the money spent on military and NATO. And it's ridiculous. And they should have been better. They should have said, we'll send somebody. It's a small operation compared to a big operation. But NATO was not there for us. And what it means, if they're not there for us here, they're not going to be there for us. So why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year on NATO if they're not going to be with us? If they're not going to be with us on Iran, they're not going to be with us on a much bigger subject than Iran.
Why are we in NATO, man? Just get out. Let Europe fend for itself. It's an archaic institution. It may have served its purpose after World War II, but no longer. It's time to get out. As Trump signals his impatience with NATO, he's also making it clear that the Iranians won't drag negotiations past their breaking point. Pact or pull back, President Trump demanding decisive deal, refusing to let the Iranians drag out negotiations. Listen.
Be in that meeting that could make the final decision. If I'm J.D. Vance, I don't want to go travel 18 hours again, sit for 21 hours, and find out whatever deal I have can't be finalized.
It's a great question, and we've been talking with U.S. officials. They say the Trump administration is not going to make the same mistakes that previous administrations made when it comes to dealing with the Iranians. They're not going to let the Iranians drag out these talks indefinitely. If the president does send another team back to Islamabad or a different location in the region, it would be to get a deal done or ultimately look at other options. We do understand there are conversations taking place about scheduling the second round of talks. But after the Iranians have had a few days to go back to their capital of Tehran and speak with top officials, the expectation is they would be able to come back to the negotiating table with a serious set of conditions and the consultations that were made in the Iranian capital that would allow them to make a final decision and create some sort of good faith agreement with the United States.
From firm negotiation stances to realigning on alliances, Trump's making it plain those who snub us will feel the chill. President Trump said the United States doesn't have the same relationship with countries that declined to help during the Iran conflict and tensions in the Strait of Hormuz.
Still have the same relationship with Italy right now and Giorgia Meloni?
No. She's been negative. Anybody that turned us down for helping with this Iran situation, we do not have the same relationship. Just so you know, Italy gets a lot of oil from the Strait. You can call it the Strait of Hormuz or the Hormuz Strait. I said, which is better? They said, either is okay, but you can call it either one. The only thing you can't call it is the Trump Strait. They don't like that idea.
I like that idea. Call it the Trump Strait. President Trump stuns America, saying the Chinese president wrote Trump a letter.
I mean, he's somebody that needs oil. We don't. He's somebody I get along with very well. He just wrote me a beautiful letter.
He wrote you a letter?
Yeah, he did. He responded to a letter that I wrote because I had heard that China is giving weapons to, you're seeing it all over the place, to Iran, that China is
Did he say
giving
he's
weapons.
giving them?
Yeah, and I wrote him a letter asking him not to do that. And he wrote me a letter saying that essentially he's not doing that.
Okay.
Essentially. That's the qualifier there, though. So I'm going to tell you what this means. See, President Trump just accomplished something that no president in modern history has done. He exposed Chinese-Iranian military coordination, got a written commitment from Xi Jinping to stop weapons transfers, kept the Strait of Hormuz open for global commerce, and simultaneously put NATO and fair-weather allies on blast for their abandonment of America. The message is clear. The America First doctrine isn't just a slogan. It's an operational foreign policy. Trump told Iran directly, make a deal or face other options. No endless negotiations. No pallets of cash. No weakness. And to our so-called allies who wouldn't lift a finger when America needed them, Trump's words, they were unmistakable. We do not have the same relationship anymore. Now here's the bottom line. While the mainstream media obsesses over nonsense, President Trump is reshaping the entire global order, MAGA style. China's backing down, Iran's at the negotiating table, NATO is being held accountable, and nations that refuse to stand with America are learning that there are consequences. This is what real leadership looks like. Not appeasement, not weakness, not endless diplomatic word salad action. Results. America first. So I want to know what you think. Should NATO allies who refuse to help with Iran face reduced American military support or none at all? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. And since you made it to the end of the video, congratulations. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's how we bypass the blockade of the algorithm that buries us under countless corporate spin videos and cat videos and gets a direct message to you when the notifications fail. I'll send you a text message to your phone. Don't worry about it. I'll do it for you. I have to pay for the service, but I'm doing it because I want to make sure you get the message loud and clear. Hundreds of patriots are signing up. I want you on that list. And if this video opened your eyes, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss our coverage, and check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and show the world where you stand. And share this video with every patriot. I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.